coming to like save you from whatever you're going through. You need to just figure it out. I'm so proud of myself. I just remembered that there was a guy, he had texted me for a while on Instagram. I never really got back to him because I felt like maybe this guy's a scammer. Who am I by the end of the day? What can identify you as a person? That's a very
past 3 years. Wow, like, probably there's so much that you're gonna be telling us today. Hello people, welcome again to Content Over Coffee. And you know us, we love to connect with people who are living what they do. And today here we are with Nurry. So please Nurry, karibu Content Over Coffee.
Thank you.
And could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, my name is Nurry Hamis. Of course, you all know me as Nurry because that's the username that I use on Instagram and my other socials. But my full names are Nurry Hamis, and I have a background in medicine. But I dropped out at some point due to reasons that were out of my reach. But currently also studying a bachelor's in food, nutrition and dietetics just to grow my career because I'm a wellness coach. And also I'm a content creator. And there's a backstory to that because generally it came from me being an entrepreneur. And also that started like 3 years back after I dropped out from med school. And I met a person who connected me into a business community of people who are in network marketing and specifically with Forever Living products. And I started doing the business. And that's why I started growing different skills. And till today, becoming the person that I am is a result of all the work that I've put in for that past 3 years.
The past 3 years, wow. Like, probably there's so much that you're gonna be telling us today. But in one of your video actually, you said your content creation doesn't have a backstory. It's just you decided you really want to express and showcase to other people what Nurry does or who she is behind it. And you say that content creation in matatu, you need to have a story, you need to have a voice, and you need to have a reasoning. So even if without a backstory, what is your actual story? What is your reasoning? And what is your voice that we see online? How do you define all of this?
So rounding that up in content creation now, it starts way back now, back to the 3 years ago, where I started my journey in entrepreneurship. But before that, as I said, I was in med school. And I specifically thought that I'm going to like go ahead and accomplish my career, like get that degree,
like a path that we thought would work.
A whole doctor with the white coat and all that. I was so excited. It's been my passion. That's why also getting out of it completely is very difficult because I still love it. And it's even much more fun when you actually do what you love.
Yeah.
So I just decided to find a way to round it and like wrap all these things around, health as a career. And also after like, when I wasn't able to to go to school anymore. And that was the time where I came back and then COVID happened and now I couldn't go, staying here. I worked at hospitals. I got the experience for like 2 years. And I saw how life is in there, and I can really say that that was what I expected. And I know especially a lot of people who are still in uni expect that when you get out here, life is going to be all bread and butter, it's going to be nice and rosy, but it's not like that. And I'm glad these days a lot of people who are activists, enthusiasts who emphasize people on self-employment and businesses and entrepreneurship are going in universities and doing all these programs and boot camps, training, so they get to at least get out of that bubble, because you're inside a bubble and you feel like
everything will work out fine. I just gotta get that degree.
So somebody comes and busts your bubble and now you start seeing the reality, and you just change gears right there. You're like, I'm taking a different path. For me, it wasn't like that. I got to experience practicing medicine, not as a medical doctor, but just as an intern first. And then they put me into the, clinicals, and now I started seeing how things are working. And then I worked in the admin And that's where I started seeing, you know, the payments, the salaries. I'm helping the HR do the addendums, and I see people's salaries. I'm like, oh, no. we're not just going to settle for this. So I'm really grateful that I got that experience. It has grown me, and practically I can say even at graduate wouldn't have had experience what I did at that point, because I was still a first year student, you know. And getting out of med school and getting out of, you know, like jobs was because at that time, now my parents initiated me going back to university again, and she was like, you know, I feel like I'm ready to like take you back. You can go back to Ukraine. I worked on all the processes, and last minute things failed, so I wasn't able to go back. I had to stay. I had quit my job. I had businesses by there at the time that I was working in the hospital, but I looked for side hustles as well.
Gotta make that bag.
You got to.
That is part of journey. Like, I don't know if some of us would have been in your shoes, sidhani kama tukifika where you are right now. And that actually makes me think, how do you move from having like multiple side hustles to having to find yourself again and being where you are right now? It's impressive to see you, but knowing the backstory, it's brain-wrecking, kabisa.
Yeah, so at first it was very difficult because I just didn't know what I was supposed to do at that point. I felt like it was just the end of everything, until I was like, there's no one coming to like save you from whatever you're going through. You need to just figure it out. I've been a person who has not been really attached with family so much.
I think I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. So pretty much most of the things you have to just figure them out yourself.
Yeah.
So I had to figure things out. Again, I applied for jobs. It was so depressing because again, you can't even like finally just say that somebody is calling me for an interview and they're giving me a job. It's always interviews and then wait. And then wait. I was getting impatient. And then I just remembered that there was a guy, he had texted me for a while on Instagram. I never really got back to him because I felt like maybe this guy is a scammer. I wasn't really utilizing or monetizing on my Instagram so much. It was just a place where I would post and that's it.
And
maybe share on my stories on my business, but it was never that serious. But again, I went back and I said, let me just listen to this guy. Maybe this is the opportunity I was looking for. He was like, we're looking for brand ambassadors and stuff like that. And then I said, let me just listen. What does he have to offer? So I looked for him and I asked him, do you guys have an office? And he was like, yeah, we do have an office. He directed me. I went there. We sat down, spoke, and that's when I was introduced to Forever Living Products as a business. That was in 2022, January. So after that, that's when I started my journey, because I was just impressed with the marketing plan, compensation, but mostly still back into health. Yeah. So I was like, because this is still going back to my career, I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to find a way to just get into this thing. But I was thinking of all the problems I had. I wasn't sure I would be able to like go ahead and do the business, because where do I get the money to start? There were so many questions. But you know, again, I have to figure it out. So I made calls, I talked to people, I got creative, I found ways to speak to people, make them give me the money to start. And at the end of the day, I just figured things out and I started. It wasn't easy, but it's been a journey of a lot of ups and downs through and through. 3 years. I'm so proud of myself.
You should be.
And that's when I learned a lot of different other skills, like marketing skills. And I learned skills on, you know, leadership and knowing that you have to take care of others. It's not just about you. I learned leadership. It's not easy.
Yeah, leadership is never about you, but it's very fulfilling once you're able to like pull your team forward with you.
So a lot of skills came from there. And I got into creation like massively. My account started growing like crazy. I wonder
how you were feeling at that point.
So you can imagine. So at that time, like it started growing. That is one thing that just keeps me wake up every morning. thinking about what else am I going to show these people, like the following, there's engagement. It was just so good. So I was doing content, but just all around my business. The first 2 years were all about my business and everything that I do, the wellness of the leadership. It was all about my business until just one time things kind of took a different turn. I needed to take a break from all these things. I needed to just focus back on me and just think of my mental health and my physical health, because I don't think even I was thinking of all that. It was all about just chasing the bag, making sure I'm
gotta be out there. Like, and it's really like when you're thinking about you're growing and be like, this is not the time for me to stop. Let me just go all out and see where this thing is gonna take me.
You know, in 2 years in a row, no holidays.
Oh my God.
You know, so I needed to take a break, and after taking that break I realized that there's so much potential in the thing that I do. I shouldn't just lock myself in my forever business. I can go out there and there's so much more to explore.
And you're expanding, right?
I am.
You have Tanzania, South Africa, expanded to Zambia. That's an impressive achievement.
So you can imagine you're connecting with people in Zambia, you've never even met them. They're excited, they buy your products, they join your business. I went to South Africa for the first time, was able to like get 2 people to start the business. After that I was like, I'm moving here. There was a lot, you know, in between, and expansion to also other places in the country. When I had like 3 months in the business, I recruited someone who was in the UK. I've never been there, but you know, just connecting over the phone, having a conversation, and they were like, I'm impressed, I want to do this business, and they started. So it's an income stream that at this point I feel like I've made so much noise, and there's a lot of growing that I still need to do. But I also need to see what other thing can I do that is wrapping around the same area, because whatever else I'll do will always round off back to my business. After I came back, I just thought, now I really need to take a serious look into content creation as a career as well, because right now the digital world is expanding and
it's
everybody
getting bigger
is
and bigger every day.
Every single day. And content creation is one, I feel like it's a one untapped, very raw market. Right now people are not big on it, but they should, because it's something that is, you know, people trust you, that's why they follow you. You create content that resonates with people, you speak to them, somebody feels like you are speaking to them in person, you know, and you influence them. They'll like what you do, they'll like what they see from you. You recommend something, they'll buy. So it's so much. It's like a one-on-one with all your followers. So I just had to like take a good look into it, and I said that I'm going to maximize on this as well.
Great to hear the bold moves, the just everything that comes about. What's one thing that really made you like push forward no matter what comes to you? You talk a lot about being a first-born daughter, and do you think this is the thing about Megufanya, like no matter what, I am built to go for it. I am built to not fall down.
Yeah, I can say yes, because it's just something in your subconscious. You don't do it on purpose to say that, you know, I'm a firstborn, I just need to do it, I have to make things work. You don't do it like that. But just on the back of your mind, there's always that idea that, you know, everybody is looking up to you, even if they don't tell you, but they are. You're a first one to your mom, you're a first one to your dad, you're a first one to your grandparents, even worse. Everybody is looking to see, how far can you go? Will you really make us proud, or are you going to disappoint us at some point? So,
and they also feel like you could be making, really paving the way for others. Imagine that burden.
So it's a blessing and a curse, but you know, you embrace it regardless, and it's something that has always made me push forward. Yes, because also just looking at my siblings, especially one of my ancestors that I have personally taken care of, I feel like she idolizes me. You know, she doesn't just think of me as a sister, but even a big portion of it as a mom to her, a second mom to her. So you always have to make sure that you're on point and you're showing up, and she's learning from you, and it's good things always. So even if you fail, you just have to figure out a way to get out of that hole and just make it work, because you need to put this image and she needs to see it like that. So yeah, I feel like it's also one of the things that have influenced me and has made me, you know, even have a mission in life, a mission to wake up every day, to keep looking at, you know, more opportunities, look at more people I can help, health-wise, financially, however the case.
And how fulfilling it must be feeling inside right now, how you took yourself forward, and you know that the results are showing, followers are seeing, families seeing, and the people who are looking up to you, they're seeing just the same, like, amazing. You should definitely be proud of yourself. And one thing, Nurry, from your business to you now being a wellness coach, you've literally built a brand around yourself, not just your business. So how were you able to navigate through knowing your identity online and in your network as a person and showing up as a creator? So how were you able to build that brand identity to yourself?
That's a really nice question. There was one video that I posted, like, I think a couple of years back. It was like 2 years, if not 1 year back, that I talked about knowing your identity. And that wasn't even about content creation. It was just more about you knowing your identity as a person. And it was after actually a masterclass that I attended, and they were talking about brand identity. I mean, like, identity, a person's identity, your personal identity, you know, and stuff like that. And I feel like this is one very important thing for everyone. You need to identify who you are. If I put aside Forever Living, if I put aside my digital marketing company, if I put aside me as being a content creator, sometimes I'll create content for fun, but I'm also doing content based on my niche. Who am I by the end of the day? What can identify you as a person? That's a very important question that everybody needs to, you know, like, think about it until you figure an answer out. Because after you have an identity, it's easy for you to say, when someone speaks of Nurry, the minute you say Nurry in a crowd, there'll be something that would identify you, despite your businesses, despite your work, your job, you being a student, you being whoever you are. So I think first things first is allow yourself to learn and don't get tired of learning. One of a very great mentor and a very great influencer out there right now, Joel Nanauka, on his masterclass is when I heard him say that if you want to succeed, live a fulfilling life, you need to always keep learning. Because the minute you stop learning, that's the end of your growth. So back to the basics. You need to keep learning. You will need to invest money, time, energy, all these things. But there's so many free platforms that you can get learning tools from. For example, YouTube. You can go on YouTube. I want to be a content creator. I want to learn how to edit content properly. You can go on YouTube and just write how to edit a video for beginners. It will give you a lot of videos that people have already, you know, made content, and they are showing you how they edit step by step, you know. You can also listen to podcasts. There's so many podcasts right now. One of the very, I would say, audible learning tools is podcasts.
Yes.
You listen to a podcast, the value that you add from these personal development podcasts, massive. Also, there are so many platforms currently in Tanzania, even in Dar es Salaam, let's just start from here, where people are teaching others about different skills. You know, there are trainings that help youth who want to grow in a certain area, and you need to get engaging. You need to start engaging with people. If you're an indoor person, also get out there, network. Networking is one powerful tool, I'll tell you firsthand. For the past 3 years, I have strong networks because of connecting with people in different events and different platforms where you can meet a lot of people together. So get engaging with people, and I would say that would help you grow you as a person, to help you also find your identity through these people. From all the things that you'll grasp from them, there's a point where you'll get to and you'll be able to identify yourself.
It's a lot of learning takeaways, and I believe from experience we see tangible outputs ambayo imekusaidia wewe, and of course it will help us like the rest.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because at Mimi, I'm still in my journey of identifying myself fully. I can't say I'm there yet. Like, at least I know I'm in the right path, because I've been doing this, I've been practicing it. And, having an identity is not easy until you're ready to like say that now I can identify myself as this person. There's a lot of work to put it. It might take you, some of them, it might take you 1 year, it might take you 2 years. For some, it might even be 10 years. But it's 10 years of you putting in work. And by the end of the day, if you pile it all up, you're like, wow, I did this. At least nimefika the end point, but the process is like amazing. You have like a whole story to tell. So it doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be now. But like, I want to identify myself, this is who I am. No. Start small, like learn. Also invest in yourself. For example, the masterclasses that Joel Manauka, back to him because I referred at the beginning. You would pay a masterclass and it's virtual, but it's 300K. And someone will be like, that's too expensive. I'd rather just keep learning on YouTube. That guy left World Bank to become a public speaker. So from the moment I just say that, you already feel like, what's so special about public speaking that would make him leave World Bank? How much were they paying him? You can think about all that. And how much can people pay him to speak? But it's the vision that he carried. It's the journey that he went through that is going to give you the answers. How do you hear it if it's not from him in person? Every money that you put in to learn something isikume hata siku moja, because that's something no one can take away from you ever in your life. You can keep giving it to your generation and generation over the years, and no one can take it back. It's a lifetime of lessons. So 100K doesn't have infinite life. Exactly. But whatever you're taking from there, you'll apply it for the rest of your life. Nurry, let's talk about the bag. You're also doing a lot of talks on like finance and everything. So how do you advise, can people plan financially, or just can they navigate these financial ups and downs in the content creation? How do you figure it out yourself? Okay, wow. But anyways, just to get to it, we can't say you have it figured out, because I don't have it figured out yet. But again, we're on the road. We're on the good path of getting there. Good thing is, the moment I started with creation, also business came. As in, I was able to start attracting people to give me gigs to do work for them, because this is again a system, a gig business that can generate you millions of money. But it's very new, and a lot of people are not really monetizing on it. Not yet, per se. But I would say the very first important thing as a content creator, or as a person who's aspiring to become one, for you to be able to maximize on this in terms of financial, the financial aspect of it. First, again, put yourself out there for people to at least know what you want to do. It's not always going to be being able to make money instantly when you start. I'd say content creation is part of entrepreneurship. Because if I was to define an entrepreneur and a business person is a person who does sales, markets to just get money from a certain good or service. That's a business, or a business person. But when we speak of an entrepreneur is a creator. You have to always have ideas, because you do business, but your business relies on the creation. You always have to sit down and think. I can just think of how many sleepless nights I've had to create content around my business. I wasn't doing it as a content creator, I was doing it as an entrepreneur. So again, content creation is a very big portion of you being an entrepreneur. So you should know that as a creator, I'm an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur is a person who thinks of creating to be able to make money. So we have an end goal, and you need to put yourself out there, show people the things that you are doing. Now that's where we get to the part where you need to identify a specific niche. When we speak of niche, a niche is a specific thing that you do, or a specific area where you create content around, Like, for example, I know I'm good on wellness. A lot of people have identified me as a wellness coach for the past 3 years, as a business coach for the past 3 years. So I create content based on wellness because that's something that people already identify me for. I create content based on business speaking of business coaching, because people already know that I coach people for business. So when I come up with a very creative post that I'm talking about business and how I can help you, coach you, it would attract the right audience, because a lot of people have been following me over the years because of that.
For that, yes.
I create content based on lifestyle. I love a really nice life. I love to travel. So I have things to show people. I enjoy a really, cozy, fancy lifestyle. So I have things to show people based on my lifestyle. That's why I also do content based on lifestyle and travel, because every time I travel out, I know I can get the space to create content for that. A lot of people also follow me because they've been seeing me traveling. And, I also like beauty.
Yeah, you're Get Ready With Me. They're all like...
I've been a makeup artist at some point in my life. It was one of my gigs. I learned back in 2020. So I even used to do makeup on some of the people and stuff. And then along the way, it just, around ending all those businesses, it also,
it didn't put in the business anymore. But it's a skill that you're using right now.
But I also can do it. Meaning, as I'm doing my makeup, I'm showing people what they can do on their own with the items that I'm using, but I'm sharing content on different things as I talk. And I love talking. I love yapping. So I could always do the Get Ready With Me and I'm yapping about something. And people will pay attention on what you're doing, but they'll also listen to the things you're saying. So you need to identify a niche. Kidogo, you're identifying that one thing that you feel like you're very good at, that's giving you more engagement, and everyone likes to comment about it. They've been sharing about it. So that's one thing that could identify you as well. So they can do that. And as you do that, it will attract the right people to you. Because when I'm looking for a wellness content creator, I won't go anywhere. I'll go to Nurry because she's also into wellness. We're looking for, let's say, lifestyle content creators. I'll look for that and who, because we know they do lifestyle content, So you need to identify that. It will help you also attract the right people, and also to be able to start monetizing,
to build that community too.
Yeah. And another thing is, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. You might have 1,000 followers, and let's say I have 30,000 followers, but my followers follow me because they like wellness content and, let's say, beauty content. But you have 1,000 followers and you are doing, let's say, cooking content. You have 1,000 people who like you because they like your cooking content. So the minute the brand that comes and takes Nurry to go and maybe make content for them based on cooking, in my 30,000, probably only 1% is the people that are watching. 300 people. 300, 3,000, I don't know. But, just maybe 1% of these people are the ones that are watching. That's 300, I was right. 300 people are watching you based on the cooking content. But with you, with your 1,000 followers, all 1,000 people love you because you create cooking content. So you have a higher advantage of taking the gig than I do. So these are also things that I feel like people should also back to investing into knowledge, to get to know how to navigate around content creation and what can you do and what can you add and how can you go about it, so that it can also boost your confidence into showing what you have and also maximizing on getting gigs and making money, because you can create a consistent stream of income with content creation. And we have people living that evidently.
That is true.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be today there's a gig and tomorrow there's no gig. It can be a consistent flow of gigs from different brands and different places, because all these people are seeing you doing that same thing every single day. So consistency is key, and you can make it.
That is so true, actually. There's even a reason that why like you said, content creation is a whole business. And usually business, they thrive because there's something they're constantly focusing on.
Exactly.
And you continuously have to focus, like, how do I become better every day at doing this? Maybe new ideas, new ways of editing, new ways of telling the same that story. And eventually, literally, that's a way for you to build that identity. And I think it's so much easier if you like brands or you want to work with like different project people to identify you, that you're gonna do well for their content or request of campaign, if they know what you can deliver, than if you're ambiguous. So it's a lot of things. I think especially upcoming creators, they can take upon this. And the earlier you identify your niche, like you allow to explore, you can explore, but the earlier you identify yourself where your strength is, the better. Especially now when the market is keep on growing so fast.
A lot of amazing things are about to start happening.
A lot of them.
For the creators and influencers, micro-influencers in Tanzania. So I feel like this is the right time for you to like hop on the train before we leave you too way back.
And here's a tip actually. I think micro-influencers, as many as they are, they have that space because businesses, they want to be everywhere. And like you said, a big creator, they have the advantage of like a big following, but at that time there's so many people who are following them for so many things. But a micro influencer, any company, if I take someone, I already know how I'm gonna get, let's say, my sales, my deliverables, etc. So keep on creating people's like it's and as days go by, you're gonna grow, but you're gonna build a community along with that. So Nurry, we also love to hear what's cooking behind the scenes. So Gara, you're wearing so many hats. You're a wellness coach. I hope you're also keeping yourself well.
I'm trying my best.
You have to. You're, like you say, you're doing a forever business. So what usually happens behind the scene when Nurry just wants to, like, behind closed doors, she just wants to relax? Maybe this time I don't want to switch on my camera. So what do you do at those moments? How do you relax?
Oh my god, I'm a very fun person to be around, but at the same time it can be a little bit boring, in a sense that behind closed doors I just like to take my time, do a little bit of self-reflection, and it's not always going to be smooth. Sometimes it's going to be rough. So, and the moments that you feel like I've exhausted my body, I just need to relax. And, I can do this today. You usually just try and do a little bit of self-care activities. And for me, self-care is being around people, because most of the times I'm alone. And, always being alone is not that good.
I can attest to that. You can't be in your head
you just need people around you. Even if they're making noise, you just need them around you. So I would visit a friend, I would go out, to just put myself out there, see people around me, at least get the warmth of being around people. And that's why I love networking events as well, because every time you're in networking events, there's noise everywhere. So at least that noise makes you feel like, oh, there's people around. So yeah, I would go for a spa date, a solo spa date. But most of all, I love traveling. So whenever I have the chance to, and I'm just grateful to God that ever since I started my forever business, it's just been easy for me to travel around, because the business also favors, one of the very big incentive is travel incentives. And they give you the space to work so hard, exhaust all that energy, and by the end of the day, you just go and relax somewhere else, just not here, somewhere out there. Just go out there and, just experience a new culture, learn from new people, just all that. It's just amazing. And yeah, that's one thing that I really love to do, travel. And yeah, I'm not so big on friends and all that, but I try my best to just be around people and stuff like that, because majority of the times with the work that you do, you find yourself being alone, and sometimes for you to be able to create, for you to be able to focus on whatever you want to do, you just need that alone time.
Content creation has a lot of individuality, and not because you're selfish, just that you have to create content. And sometimes I personally feel bad when I have to force someone, fun life that you're going out to eat, and maybe just want to record
do your content.
I said, no, you have to do your content, but let's say if you're going with a friend and a friend is there, and you feel like you are in two places at once. Content.
You won't imagine, it just happened to me like yesterday. I was out by myself, and I was like, I'm just going to create some content because I'm going for lunch, and then I have this whole gig about to happen. So I'm excited, I'm going to do content. And I just started my content, and then after my meeting, I met a lady I know, and I was sitting with her, we were having a conversation. And now there's supposed to be continuity in my content.
And then
she's like, you you know, and she literally said that. It just took me off. She was like, you know, sometimes I sit in restaurants and I watch people taking photos and I don't just get the idea of it. I don't like it. I was like, oh my God, I was just about to record your food. You know, it's just like that. So sometimes it's much better when you're just alone, you know?
Yeah,
you get
that's
to do your
true.
thing.
That's very true. Well, Nurry, thank you so much for being with us today. Honestly, Nona Kavile, we barely scratched the surface with what you do. Like, I think there's so far we could go with all the scrolling to see what you started. But all that you've said, it's very valuable, and it will be valuable to so many people.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope everybody is going to enjoy the episode, you know.
Yeah.
And learn as well.
And people pay to see you, and look, they're getting it for free.
Again, you know, there's opportunities to maximize on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So our aim is to actually build a community and just share with each other the personal journey behind the scene that we may not see on screen, or even better, the personal journeys that inspire creators to put what they put out there. And we're so glad that we have had you on Content Over Coffee to share your journey, to share inspiration and motivation as a creator, as an entrepreneur, and as a wellness coach. So I hope you've had a lot to learn here and see, like on what Nurry does online and offline. And once again, to our Content Over Coffee family, thank you for being with us. We'll see you again. Until next time. Bye-bye.